Hello, we've just had the Apple live stream, and now we're moving to the analysis. I'm John Coles. Let's get started. Joining me today, we have Mr. Joe DeMax and Mr. Brian Monroe.
Howdy.
Joe's being very ominous and not even saying hello.
Sorry, I'm bringing in a new panelist right now. Didn't know she'd be here.
Me and Brian will carry on. We'll keep the team going, even though you can't. My producer just brought me a drink of water, which is awesome.
Ominous.
I'll show you. I'll show you him in a minute. Thank you, Producer Joe.
I have water too.
So we've been going for about an hour and a half now, so I needed a drink. Brian. So they announced a new iPhone 5C and an iPhone 5S.
Yes.
Which one? If you were going to go and buy one tomorrow, if you could get it tomorrow or whenever it comes out, we'll announce that in a minute. And you had as much money as you wanted, which version would you go for and why?
Again, it would have to be the 5S. Primarily, I'm looking at the security side and the point I was about ready to get into, which is developers having the real ability to take the authentication side of things and bring it to the next level, because the idea is that now that we have positive authentic ID stuff on there, yes, you can actually know who's really using the phone. That means we have more opportunities to do mobile payments. And really, I got to tell you, of course, I love going to Starbucks. It's a really great place that gets coffees with local MeTV here. And it's something I really enjoy being able to use Passbook there. And I can see where if we can get more retail stores that take advantage of this kind of thing, it can make it even easier not to worry about running around with cash and change and all that kind of nonsense. You can just say, okay, well, just come out with your phone. You just have the ability to swipe the home button, and you can make a payment real easily there, and you don't have to worry about things. And considering the fact that it ties in with your Apple ID, and it gets to something I was predicting the other day on our feed on Sunday night, was that Apple then can become like this online payment gateway merchant store type place where they can tie in with payments. So it could end up being a big deal for Apple. So I think it's going to be good. The phone with the camera stuff, I'm going to like seeing more of the camera, because of course, like everything Apple does with the camera is something that I know a lot of users are going to enjoy having better cameras in their pockets. So it'll be great there too. So, and last but not least, the 64-bit I do believe is going to be important for the iPhone. But I'm going to say more important. Really, I truly believe forward looking here for iPad line updates as things go forward. So
I think if you head on over to apple.com, I can't show you my screen unfortunately, but if you head on over to apple.com, you can see the new version of the website. They've got the iPhone 5S, the iPhone 5C, and iOS 7 all premiering on their home screen, and iTunes Radio, which is one of the biggest things they seem to be pushing from this announcement. As much as they're pushing their new hardware, they're also pushing the new features of iTunes, which is interesting.
We have a late-breaking addition to our panel, Miss Nicole Bakewell. Welcome.
She really doesn't want to be there.
She doesn't. What do you think of the new iPhones?
Which one?
The 5C, the peasant iPhone.
I don't like it.
You don't like
myself?
it?
No.
Would you buy one?
No.
Would you buy one for a 5-year-old child?
No.
No.
And why not, Joe?
Why not?
Why
I don't think it's aimed at the Western market. I don't know why.
You think it's for China?
Yeah. Like
C stands for China or colours?
Colours.
Or cheap?
No, colours.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Cheapo.
No, I think it's definitely not aimed at the Western market.
Okay.
Yeah.
The iPhone 5C is interesting.
Oh.
The iPhone 5C is interesting. I alluded to it during the keynote, and I think the reason why they've done this and they've announced it is because the iPhone 5 just can't be produced for such a low price. I think that's one of the reasons why they've wanted to do it. Plus, they want to give people a reason to go and buy the iPhone 5C.
And here's the other thing, too. I'll tell you that I see a number of the people I help out. I'm an IT consultant. And people I see out there that have kids that really, they don't really want to give them, they want to give them an iPhone. But the fact is that for them, getting like this high-end iPhone is kind of overkill in essence. You want something the kids can kind of like start on, and I definitely see the iPhone 5C being a great phone that they can get on contract for $99, saying September 13th at the beginning, they're saying on the website. So the point about it is that they can get this phone for their kids, and they don't have to basically wait for a hand-me-down for their phone for their kids. And I think that really ends up being a good thing for them. So,
yeah, I mean, Yeah, the iPhone 5C is interesting.
Including the fact that parents love.
Swiftly on.
If it makes it real quick, the other point is parents do love the ability to, again, kind of digitally track their kids and everything else too. I mean, the idea is so that at least they know where the phone is. I mean, not that kids aren't smart enough to leave it around someplace that they didn't want to let the parents know where they were, but the point is still that, they could, at least know the fact that their kids go out someplace, they could be able to say, hey, here you go, and then call them versus giving you an iPod Touch or something like that, which doesn't really have the same kind of
The
location
iPod Touch
tracking ability. So,
I mean, the iPod Touch is useless as soon as you leave your house, pretty much.
right.
Unless you have another device that has a 3G connection on and you use Helder with. Very much like the iPad.
Right.
Right.
But no, I mean, okay, so the iPhone 5C is interesting. It's nothing really new. It's an iPhone 5 with a plastic back. That if viewers just want to know, that's essentially what the iPhone 5 is. It's
Okay.
the iPhone 5C is the iPhone 5.
What is the front of it made out of? Because it looks like glass.
It'll be the same as the iPhone 5.
Okay.
Really?
They won't change the tool.
So it's just glass.
I think it's glass. Yeah, it's the same as this, which is
So when
glass.
you get one, I'll still be able to smash the front of it.
Probably. No,
Okay.
I really don't want one. I was
So not a phone for
considering
drunk
getting one,
people.
but no.
Moving on to the iPhone 5S.
I
The
kind
iPhone
of.
5S is interesting.
Now, Brian Brushwood at Schwood on Twitter pointed out something interesting, and he's like, he's bought every new iPhone release since the iPhone, whatever it was, the first iPhone. And he's like, this is the first one I'm not going to buy and release, and that's a big thing coming from him. I think there's not enough new in this new phone. But what do you guys think?
I think there's enough new if you're an enterprise thinking between going with Windows Phone, Android, and iOS that you're going to go with iOS. I think the hardware offers you enough security-wise, processor-wise, that you can go over this or going with a different phone.
Okay.
However, for existing users, it isn't. It was never. The S versions are never designed to be an upgrade. They're designed for
Right.
someone who's just coming out of a contract and ready to go for the next phone. And that's very much what this iPhone smacks of.
So I asked for it, and I've got it. New photos taken on the new iPhone 4S. Here they are. These are stunning, and you won't be able to see them that well over the stream, but these are really beautiful.
And that's always kind of a challenge when you're showing something visual and it's like, oh, well, here's a great television set that has some great screens, and you're like trying to show it on a TV that doesn't have as good. So, I'm sure this is also the wonderful thing about living here in the Bay Area here is I got 2 Apple stores down the street from me, and I'm looking forward to be able to go down and take a look at the phones when soon they come out and having a look at them down there. So it'll be fun to
Brian,
see them in person. So,
So Brian, I mean, you got your iPhone 5. You have a 5, right?
I got the 5, that's right, yes.
And you got it on contract this time last year.
Correct.
You're going to upgrade? Do you think it's worth your hard-earned money as a consultant to upgrade?
See, again, here's the thing I'm trying to explain to you. The point is, if the security thing is the real X factor, and that's the reason why I would get it, I would go with that, the 5S. But if the security, as developers build out with it, really it takes a while for that to happen, which I'm sure it will, then I'm okay to wait for the 6 when I'm sure they really get it. So, so that's basically how it works. So
It's very ominous.
I probably will.
it'll be wonderful, Joe.
I probably will pick up the iPhone 5S. Possibly. I don't know. I mean, I'm various people owe me a birthday present, and I think.
Owe you a birthday present?
Well, they didn't give me a birthday present. I told them to wait until after this Apple announcement because there was no
Right.
point in them buying me.
Do I owe
An
you a
iPhone.
birthday present?
Yes, you do. You do. No, I don't want to mention their names, but they said they'd get me something from this Apple announcement. So,
Oh, so you've got them by the balls now, don't you, John?
yeah. 5C or 5S. I need to make a choice. I don't know. I mean, there's a rumor of an event in October for the iPad. Of course, we'll be covering it if there is, and I might wait out till then. I'm not.
Huh?
I want there to be a new iPad mini.
Would you buy a new iPad mini?
Yeah,
Do
definitely.
you want a less gimpy screen?
I think it
Yeah.
needs to be a Retina screen. I
Yeah,
think.
definitely.
I think the next version of iPad Mini will have a Retina screen.
It has to.
But I think you can see what happened with the Nexus 7 when they tried to go out and up the resolution and
they
couldn't
didn't up the resolution. They went mental.
Right, but again, this gets the difference between form or speeds and specs versus actually what users use. What I'm going to make a real point here is that the users that use iPad minis are, I'm going to say, happy with them from the standpoint of a 1.0 device, screen size, form factor type thing. At Next generation, sure, better resolution is always good, but I don't want to see them drop down from the 10-hour battery life because really it's something that's key. You could not be having to sit there with something that has non-removable battery and have to worry about constantly plugging in. The whole entire point of iPads in the first place has been the fact you walk around with this iPad and it has plenty of battery life that you don't have to constantly think about plugging it in. And that's, again, as they've said on TechPinions, one of the websites I read, by the way,
Yes.
that I think Ben Beharner said this. It said, look, it's transformative technology. When you look at like the iPad, MacBook Air, when you basically put that on the latest 10.9 operating system, and you don't have to constantly plug in, it's a big deal. I mean, users don't want to constantly have to hunt for battery to charge and plug in. So that's basically what it is.
No, I mean they don't. But I mean, there's more in the update than just it's better battery life. It's very much. I mean, okay, so we've got the new touch sensor, which is so that we can have better security. We've got a better camera. We've got all of that, and that's really nice. And I think in general, the 5S is a warranted upgrade. They do a new version every year, and that's fine. I don't think anyone's going to rush out and go, I want to get rid of my iPhone 5. I want to get an iPhone 5.
Well, no,
I don't
again,
think
let's be clear. If you have an iPhone 5, very good chance you're very happy with your iPhone 5 because it's not slow or laggy. It's meeting all your needs. All the apps run on it. It's going to be able to get the latest iOS, iOS 7.
For a while, of course.
So there isn't really something you're feel like, I'm missing out on a lot of stuff. The same way I've got to say, definitely the same thing with people with iPhone 4s. Didn't feel like, oh my God, I really need to get an iPhone 4S because it was like such a major upgrade. Again,
TikTok.
It's TikTok, exactly the whole entire idea.
Yes.
And this is different than computers. Computers, we really see the lags and other things start happening over time because of the way that laptops and desktop computers, either PCs or Macs, have been built. That over time, just things kind of slow down. It's just you don't have that same situation when it comes down to with iPads and iPhones, basically. So
yeah, I'd agree there. I think it's an interesting upgrade. I don't think it's
I mean, I think it's an interesting upgrade. My point is that users will take the approach that depends on pricing where they're at. Again, don't forget that some users. Not every user is on a perfect upgrade cycle, right? Where they go out and buy an iPhone the first day it comes out, and the next time an iPhone comes out, they're ready to buy another one. A lot of times people are like, they're off kind of kilter. So they end up getting a phone that's 6 months in or a year, 8 months in. And so they're with AT&T, I think it's 12 months or, doing now 14 months or something like that, what it is. But the point is that you get a certain point where they start giving the discounts on the contract again. And the point about that, it comes down to that because of where people's buying cycles are at, you'll see these kind of things happen where people will end up getting these iPhone 5S's because, again, they're ready to get one, or maybe it's a family member they would like to dump the phone. Dump their phone, but transfer the phone over to a family member if they have an iPhone, 4 or something.
Moving away from hardware and focusing much more on the software.
Sure.
iOS 7. There was nothing new announced about iOS 7. We were given a release date, I think, of the 18th, if my memory serves me correctly, I think.
Correct.
iOS 7 is nothing new. This entire announcement has been nothing new. It's been things that we've heard about, and that's kind of for me. This keynote has been much more about the fact that Apple doesn't keep things secret anymore. They're really bad at keeping things secret. People leak all the time.
What you have to understand is over time, it just gets harder for Apple to keep secrets because of the fact that they're growing as a company. And the amount of suppliers
what I'm saying is usually there was at least one or two surprises. I mean, okay, so there was a surprise that it was going to be the new A7, but we could guess that. I think the only surprise of something that you couldn't guess or was leaked was the fact that we now have this new motion coprocessor that processes gyroscopes and the accelerometers, and that's it. That's like the only thing.
This isn't new. Do you remember last year when there was that hilarious rendering of Tim Cook on stage with the slide that he had, the exact slide he had the next day? It's like a total day before. So this isn't new that Apple can't keep secrets anymore. We know this.
Right.
But it's really unfortunate. I mean, that's what used to be, because this announcement, there's nothing new. There's nothing that people didn't already know, so it's pointless going over about it over and over again. it's disappointing, I think, that Apple can't keep secrets as well as they used to. I mean, we didn't hear anything about Mavericks. We didn't hear anything about the iPads, apart from the fact that iOS 7 is going to be coming to it. We didn't hear much in terms of other things outside of the iPhone and, well, the two new iPhones.
Right.
But I suppose we'll hear more in the future.
Yes, we will.
Is there anything else to say?
How did you fellows think about the general presentation? How did Tim handle himself? How did Bill handle himself? How did Craig handle himself? Craig was excellent at the last keynote, and I wonder what you guys think of how he was this time round. Anything?
Yes. I think he was okay. I think he's getting there. I think in general they're all getting there.
It's pretty hard after Steve. You know, it's hard to get that swag again, and we call it that because that's what it is.
It's hard to build that rapport up.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
I mean, I think the thing to understand is, of course, like if you understand, is that, look, Tim Cook is no Steve Jobs. Nobody really ever will be a Steve Jobs again. He was a unique guy at a unique point in time.
He's no Steve Jobs, but he's a great Tim Cook. You know, you got to give him that.
Sure, but the point I'm going to make is I really do think Tim Cook is definitely coming into his own. Of course, I can't wait to actually see the actual video of this event so you can get a chance to analyze exactly how well he did as far as presentation. Were there any flubs and everything else that weren't reported in the media someplace? You know, did everything go smoothly as it was recorded on the live blogs? You know, these kind of things. So it should be fun to see exactly how it ends up going. So, but I think it's, you know, as things go, you know, there's no question that, we all want to be surprised. I think we all like the idea of having the mini Christmas. That's kind of the idea, is you get this thing packaged up that you don't know exactly what's going to happen. And Christmas morning you come down.
Now Engadget, The Verge just have to go to the tree the night before and shake the boxes. And that's how it is these days.
Yeah,
That is exactly it, yeah.
You know, look, we understand that that's kind of the function of the media. And no question, look, there's massive amounts of money that's tied up in the stock market and other places where people are looking at any bits of slivers of information they can get about Apple's future, plans, affects markets, affects what Samsung's doing, affects what companies are going to end up purchasing, what individuals are going to end up purchasing. It's a huge deal. So that's why there's this, people want those leaks, and that's why they're very, it's very hard to keep them from not happening, let's just say, so.
So the US store I'm hearing is back up right now, and I'm going to...
I think it's all available.
Ominously lean over here. Oh, no. Wait, store at apple.com. That's it. It's very ominous. It's not loading. There it is. So let's see. I want to go buy one. I don't because I don't want one, but I do. Let's go. This is interesting that the C and the S are lowercase. Historically, they never were. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Let's go have a look and shop iPhone. And I want to know what the price is if I don't want to buy it on a contract.
Right.
You going to tell me? No.
I think I saw somebody tweeted me and told me it was $549. So that's the price they were saying, which is rather unfortunate because that is still rather expensive than, one of the articles I was reading again the other day talking about Nokia and their merger with or getting together with Microsoft is a big deal. Is that, making good quality phones at a cheap price or inexpensive price, let's just say, is difficult, and you don't want no trade-offs, no compromises. The fact is that to get things less expensive, there has to be some compromises. Nokia has been really great about making phones for developing markets, for places where they just can't afford to go out and spend $500-600 on a phone. I mean, it's just too much. So,
no, Joe.
Yes,
Well,
Jeremy says so.
I think we should wrap this up before everything starts to get stupid, and it already has.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Seriously, Joe, no.
Okay, sorry, I'm in trouble.
Yes, you can say you're sorry if you want to. We'll talk later. Anyways, so I think that's pretty good for the coverage we have here. Unless Nicole has some other thoughts, she seems to be just enjoying things.
I'm not buying it. I'm definitely not buying it.
Well, you have a note too.
I was going to. I thought I had really high hopes for it, but it's just no. Bad.
Aww.
Too hard to prove. Too hard to please, rather.
That's right.
I think we all are, though. We're also negative.
I think,
you guys
I don't
are from
know.
the UK.
I'm positive. Joe Peacock said nothing.
Okay, I've got off-contract prices here. I'm not sure which one this is for. 16 gigabyte, £549. 32, 629. 64, 709.
Over the sea by the sounds of it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's expensive. The iPhones are expensive if you buy them off contract.
Right.
Nexus 5 for me.
It is. I'm not that bothered. Anyway, let's get going. We need to get stuff uploaded to YouTube and things. I imagine that we'll carry on streaming and hang out for a bit.
Yeah, we'll chat to you, fellows. Yeah.
Yes.
So my name's been Joe DeMax. That's Brian Monroe. Brian, any
Thank
last
you.
words?
Just thank you for joining us this time around, and I'm sure Apple will have other announcements later on
We'll be
before
here.
the end of the year, which we will definitely be covering, including other keynotes that are coming along too. And don't forget to check out us weekly. John Coles will be doing updates that you want to catch and follow. So do follow us at LTK TV and also on YouTube. YouTube, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. YouTube / with it Live
Tech
Tech Keynotes.
Keynotes, yes.
Live Tech Keynotes, right? Exactly.
And John's
so
going to do his
basically
LTK update.
Yeah,
Those were 5A.
Yeah.
Dan's just confirming those were 5S prices, by the way.
Right.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So go on,
That's not
John.
bad then. Thanks for watching. I've been me, John Coles. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at John Coles. And follow me over there for kind of updates about news, technology, and stuff in general. But by all means, definitely follow at LTK TV.
Right.
That's where we post all our new events.
So I've been Joe DeMax. This has been Nicole Bakewell. You did a great job.
Thanks.
She doesn't have Twitter, though. She needs to get on the
Twitter.
team and
don't
needs to
use
get
it.
Twitter.
High five. You did better than me.
There you
Much better
go.
than me.
Yeah,
You didn't do
Oh,
stupid stuff.
Joe Peacock didn't say it. Bye.
Yes. Hi, Joe.
Bye, Joe.
He says food. That's it.
Okay, I want food too. All right, this has been our poster analysis. I've been Joe DeMax. We'll see you next time for another episode of Live Tech Keynote.
Bye.
Bye.
Fade to Alien Hand.
They're gonna kill you.
You're
for
going to
that.
McDonald's now?